Alrighty, we are here. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Alrighty, we are. That's What the frick? Alright, I think we're cool. How's everything sounding, gang? Hey, Jason, we're gonna need to trim that intro. Wub, how's everything sounding out there? Bienvenidos. Meaningstream, let's get it. Doobie. All right. Go. I think we're good. I think we're ready. Wow. What a time to be alive. How you doing out there? Make some noise. Human beings don't want. Human beings do not want. Looping feedback all over their Meaningwave stream. That was crazy. I didn't even know how that happened. That was so weird. I swear, like, I leave this studio and, like, little creatures run amok. Just mess with stuff. Just be running amok in there, messing with stuff. Good lord. That was crazy, right? So If you listen to this on the replay, Jason's trimmed the intro so you don't hear it, but there was a crazy looping feedback thing going on for a good, 3-4 minutes or something. And I honestly could not figure out how or why. It was so weird. And now it's all over. As far as I know... As far as I know... Ooh. Ooh. Woo-wee. It's coming together now. It's all coming together. We're here. Do you know why we're here? We're gathered here. Brothers and sisters, we are gathered here. Amanda Dancer says Minecraft. What you say, Minecraft? Was that just pixelated visual? Is it okay now? Oh, wow. I think we're okay now. I think we're okay now. Jacob says elves just might be playing with the switches at night. I think that's the case. Full Killer says the Meaningstream is always a place for surprises, technical or otherwise. Well, there you go. And we might have some surprises today, because today, brothers and sisters, yeet the don't yeet it, attack it with a spoon. Later. Bop the like on the noggin with a spoon. We're doing the Meaningwave Bottom 50 for the second time ever. The Meaningwave Bottom 50 is where we count down to the very bottom of the Meaningwave charts, and with over 600 tracks, we can do that. And it's like, ooh, what will be there? We don't know. We have a vague idea. All we know is what happened last time, and last time we were quite shocked. There were some shocking songs in here. And just to clarify, it's the bottom 50, which means the least streamed songs. So this information is taken from our streaming distributor, and it's taken from Spotify data, Apple data, all that, YouTube, a bunch of those things. YouTube Music, I think. Of course, last time we had some crazy stuff. Wishes by Jordan Peterson and Akira the Don was in the top 10, top 5 maybe. And number 1 was James Altucher. What will be the case this week? We tried to affect the outcome by creating a playlist. By creating the Bottom 50 playlist with the idea that perhaps some of you might stream it and play some of the songs on the Bottom 50 playlist. Thus, those songs might not be in the Bottom 50 next time. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out tonight, brothers and sisters. Are you excited? All them wave emojis in the chat if you're excited. Looking forward to hearing your predictions and all of that. But I can tell you, in at number 50, it's a new entry. Utopia, featuring Jordan B. Peterson. Whoa!
Hey. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty.
Why not?
They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Satan, in Milton's Paradise Lost, Satan decides that he can do without the transcendent. He can do without God. He can do without God. He can do without God. And that's why he foments rebellion. It's something like that. And the consequence of that was that as soon as Satan decided that what he knew was sufficient and that he could do without the transcendent, which you might think about as the domain outside of what you know, something like that, immediately he was in hell. Things get large, and then they get too large, and then they collapse. And so In 2008, when the politicians said, too big to fail, they got something truly backwards. The statement was reversed. It should have been so big it had to fail. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty.
They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty.
When I read Paradise Lost, I was studying totalitarianism.
Shouts out everyone locked in. What's up, AI? What up, Bungie Animator?
The true
Shaky, Amanda, Cindy, Layla, Gotham, Cool Killer, Chris.
The future
Charlotta, mi amor.
has intimations of the future. And maybe that's because the poetic mind, the philosophical or prophetic mind, is a pattern detector.
Ooh-wee.
And there are people who can detect the underlying the melody of a nation. Melody is in song. The song of a nation. And can see how it's going to develop across the centuries. You see that in Nietzsche, for example, in around 1860 or so. I mean, he prophesied what was going to happen in the 20th century. He said specifically that the specter of communism would kill millions of people in the 20th century. It's an amazing prophecy. Some people are very good at detecting patterns, you know, and Milton, I think, was of that sort. I think he had intimations of what was coming as human rationality became more and more powerful and technology became more and more powerful. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty.
They want
adventure and chaos
and uncertainty. Brand new entry at number 50, Utopia featuring Jordan Peterson, and at number 49, down 6 places. So that kind of means up. That means more people were listening to this song this month and it's escaping the bottom 50. It's on its way out, not greatly changed, with Joseph Campbell.
The fourth function of a mythology, then, is to center and integrate the individual in relation to himself, the microcosm, in relation to his society, we'll call that the mesocosm, the in-between cosm, in relation to the universe as he's able to know it, and finally, in relation to that ultimate mystery of which I spoke in the beginning. Now let me say a word about the problem of integrating the individual. This is the thing that has been the same. This is the thing that has been the same. Societies have changed, but the problem of the individual in his life course has not greatly changed. The human being is a very strange animal. He matures when he is about 20 years old. He has been growing for 20 years. Most animals, that's the length of a lifetime. So here is a creature who has grown for 20 years in an attitude and in a position largely of dependency, uncertain of himself, turning to his parent for help, instruction, protection, approval, and punishment. This creates a psychological structure of dependency. The individual is in an attitude of dependence on parental figures. Then we ask him to become responsible, to assume responsibility. Grow up. This is the thing that has been the same. This is the thing that has been the same. Societies have changed, but the problem of the individual in his life course has not greatly changed. This is the crisis of the transit from infancy to adulthood, from dependency to responsibility. Something has to be done to make it happen. It won't happen automatically, as we now know from the problem of psychoanalysis. A person who looks like an adult, but every time responsibility is thrown upon him, turns around to see where mother or daddy is, just hasn't passed that threshold. A neurotic is a person who is having responses of dependency when they ought to be responses of responsibility. That's all it is. So then he goes to a psychiatrist who tells him to grow up. That's about all the problem is. But that's not so easy. After you have the business of a reflex, stimulus, response. The response takes place. The response of dependence. Now suddenly it's got to be responsibility. This is the thing that has been the same. This is the thing that has been the same. Societies have changed, but the problem of the individual in his life course has not greatly changed.
Yeah. This is the thing that has been the same. This is the thing that has been the same. Societies have changed, but the problem of the individual's life course has not greatly changed.
Not greatly changed. It's flying, baby. It's on its way out of there. Up 6 places and just like 2 spots away from being free of the bottom 50. Fly, Joseph Campbell. Fly. Not greatly changed. Greatly changed. Shouts out to everyone looked in. What's up, Shecky? Alec Moran, what's up, baby? Carl Diamond, what's cracking? What's up, Jacob? Shouts out to all of your beautiful things. What are your predictions? You got any predictions? Let's hear some predictions. I predict that at number 48 we'll see Theo Von with a new entry.
I was just thinking that Jocko's kind of... A lot of people can be real father figures for me. I have such a desperation for that energy and that connection in my life that I will latch on to people or put them in a place where, oh, I gotta tell you this. So, I saw my dad in a dream when I was in Hawaii, or in Maui. Sorry. When I was in Maui. And it was really crazy because I hadn't seen him in 20 years. Even in a vision. You know, when I had an adult vision. And I saw him. You know, when I saw him, it was crazy. We were at it was kind of confusing. It was a dream, you know. And Robert De Niro was there, and Matthew McConaughey was there. And we were in Maui. My dad was in one room, eating at a table, and Matthew McConaughey and Robert De Niro were in another room. And my dad wanted to come and meet Matthew McConaughey, but he didn't want to meet Robert De Niro. And so I was trying to mediate between the two of them. And finally, my dad and Matthew McConaughey got to meet each other, which doesn't mean anything, but it was just interesting to see my father. I hadn't seen him. I saw my dad in a dream. I saw my dad in a dream. I hadn't seen him in 20 years. I saw my dad in a dream. I saw my dad in a dream. I hadn't seen him in 20 years. You know, I'd seen him in pictures, and I'd seen him in just, you know, imagination what he looked like or something, but I hadn't seen him really. And it made me think that my dad lives in Hawaii or something, you know, I was like, oh, is this where he's been? And it made me think, well, of course this is where he's been. This is where I would be. It is stunning But yeah, I got to see my dad, man. I got to see him. It was I just didn't know. I just didn't know. I didn't know that he's been in Hawaii or been in, that he's been there. And he was healthy. He was healthier looking than I'd ever seen him in my whole life. That's what's wild. He was kind of thicker, he'd been eating. His hair was darker. And he was laughing, man. He was laughing. He was kind of being cool, trying to a little bit play it cool or be cool, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he lives in that world, in the subconscious or in dream world. So I have no idea what his life is like there. He may drive a Corvette. I don't know. I didn't see, the parking lot or anything like that. I just saw just him. I saw my dad in a dream. I saw my dad in a dream. I hadn't seen him in 20 years. Even in a vision. I saw my dad in a dream. I saw my dad in a dream. I hadn't seen him in 20 years. Even in a vision.
I saw my dad in a dream. I hadn't seen him in 20 years. Even in a vision. I saw my dad in a dream. I hadn't seen him in 20 years. Even in a vision.
And man, right when I got up, I've just been on this kick where I've just been trying to stay more motivated and like when it's time to get up, it's time to get up. And I need to do things and I want to have more experiences in my life. Recently I've just been realizing like I do a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of the same things. And I'm not really having a lot of like new experience. And so I want to have a little bit more of that. A little bit more of that. Man, I wish I'd have just laid back down and tried to go right back and see him. Wherever he was. But it's just so funny. I mean, I've slept in the past 20 years, I've probably fallen asleep in, 42 states and 15 or 20 or 30, countries. And not once did I see my father. And then, bam, I'm in Maui and there he is.
Wow, baby. I saw my dad in a dream. Akira the Don and Theo Vaughn. That's a new entry at number 48. I don't see that hanging around the bottom too long. Lots of people catch wind of the existence of that one. A lot of people don't know these things exist, Did you know there's people out there who do not know that Meaningwave exists? Did you know that? Alec Moran knows Meaningwave exists. Appreciate you, baby. Venice Beach Dub Club knows the truth. Appreciate the support, you bad man. Says bottom 50 shine. I love it. I just checked the bottom. Venice Beach Dub Club song is I Believe, which is mental because it is great. I mean, here's the thing. Do you have bad songs? I mean, I don't have bad songs. That's why we did this exercise. We wanted to see. We're like, did we do the top 50, right? We're like, well, the top 50's all fire. But we got a lot of music. Maybe what's in the bottom 50, maybe that's fire too. And yo, what do you see? What do you find? You find that you need to wear your nuke-proof suit. Because there ain't nothing down here but nukes. Damn, I love this one, says Alec Moran. Exactly. Hill Inc.'s predicting seeing Brett Weinstein in the bottom 50 somewhere. Paul Killer says I love the drop on this track. Dirk from Texas says, didn't want to meet De Niro, his dad is a Chad in the afterlife. Ain't that true? Ain't that so true? Cindy Bailey says, my son was asking why this song is so important. I reminded him that he's very lucky to have a dad. Hey! That's so real. That's real. Cindy Bailey says, still lucky to have my own, but his song still gets me. For real. Make some noise for Theo Vaughn and Theo Vaughn's dad, who's hanging out in Maui. Doesn't give a fuck about Robert De Niro. Boom! What an absolute lord. Yo, we got a nuke right now. What the frick? This is a nuke right here. Hey, yo, it's a brand new entry, I do believe, at number 47. A brand new addition into the bottom 50. It is Riva says, Akira the Dawn, everything's a scam. Scam wave, what's up? Ooh.
The reason why I got everything's a scam in a neon sign in my apartment is because I think that's the most optimistic message you can think of every day. So I wanted to remind myself of that every morning when I woke up.
And the reason why I think it's optimistic is that you see all these different problems, right? All these things in the world. And you're like, well, I don't understand that thing. Like, I don't understand.
In my case,
longevity research and science and hard work. I don't understand any of these things in a deeply technical way. I want to affect them. A lot of the reasons why people don't go into different fields is they think, well, there's this kind of expert status around this field, which means I can't ever infiltrate it. And the thing that I want to remember every day is that this is a scam. It's like a power hierarchy that's been created within an industry to prevent other people from being able to go and get into it. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Academia is a scam. Venture capital is a scam. Everything's a fucking scam. Right? But if you realize that, then you can do anything.
Anything.
Why I think remembering everything is a scam is important is that it boosts your self-efficacy to remind yourself that if everything's a scam, then if you have high integrity and you want to go solve a problem, it's probably the case that it'll take you pretty far.
It'll take you pretty far.
Like more far than trying to play the traditional game, which is a scam.
Scam.
So, to me, everything is a scam is not a negative thing. It's a reminder to just play the game. Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game.
You dig?
Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game.
You dig?
Everything's a scam.
Hey, yeah, all them waves
Everything's a scam.
All them waves in the chat, baby. Scam.
Everything's a scam. Academia is a scam. Venture capital is a scam. Everything's a fucking scam.
Right?
But if you realize that, then you can do anything.
You can do anything.
Play it.
Yo. Slap is a slap. Is a deep cut banger, says Fool Killer. This one slaps, says Bungie Animate. I love this one. Come on! Says Shecky Pavel. Jesse Rovig loves Scam Wave. Yes, you'll do.
Any game you want to play.
Shecky Pavel, then it's time to scam.
Any game you want to play.
When it's time to scam, we gonna scam. Yeah, I gotta scam them all.
Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam.
Everything's a scam.
Everything's a scam.
Yo.
Academia is a scam.
Shouts out to Riva Taz all day. Next, baby, next we got one. It was here last week, but it's gone up.
Then you can do anything.
I mean, it's gone down. It's gone down. It too is escaping. It's on its way out. It's saying, no, I do not wish to be down here. I'm a beautiful woman. I don't belong down here. You know what I mean?
Even something as simple as eye contact in a situation where there's a possibility of finding a sexual partner is a very important component, because eye contact indicates interest, and it also indicates, at least in principle, the possibility of approach. And so approach.
Yeah, I want to see all them beautiful ladies in the chat.
Mediated.
Beautiful lady emojis.
Emotion.
And beautiful ladies.
And that's also why, interestingly enough, if you go into a pharmacy and there's a rack of magazines, what's on the cover?
That's it. Beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman.
My bad.
Beautiful woman.
Y'all make some noise for beautiful women. They're great.
On 50% of the men's magazines, there's a beautiful woman, and on 100% of the women's magazines, which is really interesting, because you might think, well, why is that? And the woman's eyes are always looking out in a way that they're looking at you. It's an invocation of interest. And so, magazines evolve. All the ones that don't get bought fail. And so what's happened is they all converge to the same point. And the same point is the thing that's maximally interesting to a magazine purchaser is a beautiful female face. Whether it's male or female. Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Study. So you show them the face of a beautiful woman, their eyes are looking that way, or this way, or they're looking right at you. You can check the activity in the dopaminergic center in a place called the nucleus accumbens, which is the same place that cocaine hits. Based on eye contact, that thing lights up. Lights up even more if she's wearing a red dress. Right, and you can get the same kind of lighting up with a red curvy sports car. My thought when I read that was the perfect situation is like a beautiful girl dressed in red, perched on a sports car with some cocaine. Beautiful girl dressed in red, perched on a sports car with some cocaine. Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman.
Ba 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 ba.
Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman.
Yeah, that's what's up, baby. Beautiful woman with Jordan Peterson. It's escaping down 4 places, and here down on the bottom 40 going down is going up. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. It does. Make some noise. Very proud of you, Jordan B. Peterson, and that beautiful song that just brings joy to everyone who hears it. Speaking of bringing joy, number 45. It's a new entry. Welcome to the bottom of the pops, Manly P. Hall.
But by this means of effortless effort, the individual changes his policy. And a good example of this method of changing is in the selection of an adequate vocal coach if you intend to take singing lessons. In the, shall we say, robusto style, the principal problem was to open your mouth and bellow. And nearly all, or many, of the older singers were quite content and happy if they could rattle the chandeliers in the back of the opera house. Then it was gradually discovered that this was the best way to ruin a voice that there was. These voices were damaged, and damaged terribly. Today we know that the best way to learn to vocalize is to reduce effort. Today we know that the best way to learn to vocalize is to reduce effort. The principal problem that every singer has to get rid of is his own throat. If he could lose it, he would sing better. Get his mind off of the noise he is making. Relax. And allow the breath to move as it will. And if he controls the breath with a minimum of mental energy, he will produce a pure tone. Well, if he gets behind it and shoves with everything he has, he will develop only a badly pressured, badly trained voice. Today we know that the best way to learn to vocalize is to reduce effort. Today we know that the best way to learn
Same thing in life. Same thing in life. Yeah.
The purpose of life, the economy of life, is to use a minimum amount of energy to attain maximum result. Minimum amount of energy, maximum result. Minimum amount of energy, maximum result. Minimum amount of energy, maximum result.
Same thing in life.
Minimum amount of energy, maximum result. Same thing in life. Minimum amount.
That's right, make some noise, Manly P. Hall.
Maximum result.
Manly P. Hall.
Amount of energy.
But once again, let's play Spot the Rubbish record. Shall we see if there's a bad record in here? I mean, come on. There's got to be one somewhere.
Minimum amount of energy.
Maximum result.
Minimum amount of energy.
Andrew Pullman, what's up, says thank you to JBP and Akira the Don. Thanks to your influence, I can confirm as of last week, my brother and I were the strongest men at our father's funeral.
Maximum result.
Good work.
Maximum result.
Sorry for your loss.
Minimum amount of energy.
I'm proud of you.
Maximum result.
Good work.
Minimum amount of energy.
Maximum results.
Minimum amount of energy.
Maximum results. Minimum amount of energy. Maximum results.
Minimum amount of energy. Maximum result.
Same thing in life.
Minimum amount of energy. Maximum result.
Same thing in life. Same thing in life. Now we got a brand new edition, a new entry at number 44. It's everybody's Meaningstream. It's Meaningstream favorite. Guess who?
The second function
What up, JC?
of mythology is to present an image, a total image of the universe as consciousness is aware of it. We have to encompass the whole of what we know and see that in terms of this mystery. Now as you immediately realize, in the course of the ages, in the course of time, man's understanding and man's image of the universe has greatly changed. And man's image of the universe has greatly changed. A totally new cosmos has come into being, has come into our consciousness, has greatly changed. The view of
This one's banger.
the world round about that the Pawnee Indian would have had on the plains of Nebraska 200 years ago is very different from what is now propounded in the University of Nebraska. Likewise, when we read in the book of Genesis the story of the creation of the world, that's not the world that our scientists are telling us about. A man's image of the universe has greatly changed. A man's image of the universe has greatly changed. A totally new cosmos has come into being, has come into our consciousness. Has greatly changed.
Wow, what a banger. I haven't heard that for a long ass time. JC, man, like Joseph Campbell, greatly changed. Brand new edition at number 44 and number 43. This one's gone down.
I don't mind the denunciation.
When I say it's gone down, it's gone up.
Wise. Well, I mean, intellectuals are very...
It was listened to less
They're professionals at
in
it.
the past month than it was the previous month.
There's no way of responding.
No, Chomsky.
Somebody calls you, an anti-Semite. What can you say? I'm not an anti-Semite. Somebody says you're a racist, you're a Nazi or something. You always lose. I mean, the person who throws the mud always wins because there's no way of responding to such charges. Freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, freedom of speech.
Smash that like.
Freedom of speech.
If you just got here and you hadn't done that yet, do that thing.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech!
I do not think that the state ought to have the right to determine historical truths and to punish people who deviate from those. I'm not willing to give the state that right, even if they happen to
What are you denying that the gas chamber is ever
But I'm saying if you believe in freedom of speech, you believe in freedom of speech for views you don't like. I mean, Goebbels was in favor of freedom of speech for views he liked, right? So was Stalin. If you're in favor of freedom of speech, that means you're in favor of freedom of speech precisely for views you despise. Otherwise, you're not in favor of freedom of speech. Otherwise, you're not in favor of freedom of speech. There's two positions you can have on freedom of speech, and you can decide which position you want. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech. Up by 5 ranks. It's climbing towards, it's on its way to the bottom. It's heading. Meanwhile, at number 42.
Got married. Well,
down 2.
Who's my wife?
Trying to get out of here.
I've known since she was 8 years.
Tammy wants out. What's up?
Treat for me in this little town called Fairview, and I was in love with her like the first time I saw her, which is quite a bloody thing. So that's worked out pretty well for me. But she came to live with me about the same time, and we decided jointly to get our act together, and we swore that we tell each other the truth. I think she's actually done better than me. I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage, which is unbelievable. I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage, which is unbelievable.
Maybe then. I couldn't suggest that. Hey.
Of course, I think it was called.
Number 41, Wild Man with Jordan Peterson, up 3.
Old women and men naked.
Up 3.
Like mad. It was really embarrassing.
Oh no.
The overweight kid, we'd be just panting ourselves 3/4.
Oh no, that's not a good look for you, Wild Man.
Bloody workout, and these 60-year-old women who weren't in great shape were like, chatty.
Don't stop till you get to the bump of the pops.
Going on at all in the pool. So that was quite embarrassing. And as was going to the weight room, because when I started, I could barely bench press 75 pounds, and people used to keep coming over and helping me, which was the last thing I bloody well wanted, but certainly needed. If I got to the point where I could bench press 225 pounds, I think that was the best I did, and I gained about 30 pounds of muscle in a year and a half. So, good thing.
Yo, did he just say 225 pounds? He did, didn't he? That's like a decent amount. You know that, right?
If I got to the point where I could bench press 225 pounds, I think that was
I want to see Jordan Peterson benching 225.
The muscle in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing.
That was a good thing.
So, I was kind of a wild man.
What?
Kind of a wild man. So, I was kind of a wild man. Kind of a wild man. And I'm a little bit manic in my temperament, and so I was kind of going every direction at the same time. I don't regret that. I had a fine time when I was a kid, but I needed to get disciplined, and I had to do it because I was working on these hard problems that I've been discussing with all of you, and I've been working on them really obsessively since I was probably about 18, maybe even earlier than that. So, I was kind of a wild man. Kind of a wild man. So, I was kind of a wild man. Got to.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I was doing bench today. What I get up to? I got up to today. I was actually down on last week, but that's because they were we did arms yesterday, and then we did arms again today for some reason. And it wasn't just focusing on bench. This is in the context of a CrossFit workout. We'd already done a bunch of pull-ups and this, that, and the other, and they had us doing these Arnold things, the Arnold press. So it was like EMOM every minute on the minute, doing an Arnold press, which is that, right? So you got your 2 dumbbells here, boom, you put them up like that. Then you get jumping on the bench every minute on off, right? So anyway, like, what I do on the bench today, I got 145. Yeah, 145. We were doing them in reps. We started off in reps of 10, 8, 6, then 4s. Yeah, I was on 145 today, and that shit killed me. Anyway, we'll be back next week. I'm gonna get back up to 165, and then I can aim at the 200s. Vincente Caparuni says, "Is JBP capping?" It sounds like he capping. Maybe no, man. I mean, shit. You know, I'm an old man. I only started doing this shit when I was 40, and I'm 40. How old am I? Am I 42? No, I started this when I was 41, and I'm 43, I think. Yeah, I only started weights when I was 41. Ain't that stupid? Yo, if you're a young person out there and you're not yet picking things up and putting them down, do that now. There's no reason you shouldn't be doing that. Like, it's a very good thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, if I was gonna go time travel, I'd say anything to younger self. I'd say, yo, start picking shit up and putting it down. It's great. It makes you, it fills you full of joy. It fills your t-shirts out, right? It makes you more useful in the world. You feel better. You'll be more confident. You'll be able to be more useful. You'll be able to pick things up. Don't need to pick it up. Shit, get after it. Vincente says, I was picturing him at 50. He had to be much younger. Yeah, he's talking about when he was much younger. He was talking about when he was much younger. Now, see, I'm aiming at being 50 and doing that. Well, higher than that. Like, that's what I'm aiming at. I'm aiming at, like, Schwarzenegger in his 20s in my 50s. Does that make sense? Shaky says, squats, how much? What kind of a question is that? Squats, how much? Alec Moran says, people forget JBP is a decent height. Yeah, he's a tall man. He's not a little guy like me. 225 is probably a bit over his own body weight at the time. That's a good point. One does forget about that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. I'm not like, you know, the most alto of individuals. But like, I have been like bulking. I've been slunking my eggs, and I am in the 170 mid. I think I'm like 175 or something now. I used to be like 140. Yeah, that was just my regularing around at 140. I didn't know what any of this shit meant. People talking about benches and thing. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. 225 or it sounds whatever. That shit, that's heavy. Anyway, I got to tell you the truth though. I got to remind you, this broadcast is brought to you by Meaningwave.com. Did you know that? Did you know that it was brought to you by Meaningwave.com? It is. Meaningwave.com, porque, because happiness is a side effect of meaning. That's why. And, you know, if you want to be like me and have this nice t-shirt that I'm wearing, which is lovely, just go to Meaningwave.com and type in Get After It. And look, it'll come up there. It's this t-shirt. It was designed by me, lovely me, for the, it's the Get After It 2 shirt for the Jocko instrumentals for the last Jocko album, the previous Jocko album, you see. And it's a lovely t-shirt, as you can see. It looks lovely on me, and I'm sure it'll look lovely on you too. Classic cotton shirt, very nice. So you can get one of those from Meaningwave.com if you want. How about that? Meaningwave.com. Por qué? Because happiness is a side effect of meaning. Yes, it is. All right, where we're at in this chart. Alec Moran says, I'm 5'6", 160 pounds. I can't bench more than 175, but I could squat 380. I've got those soccer and swimming legs. Yo, that's crazy. I'm kind of similar. I'm like, I think I'm 5'7 and a half, something like that. And when in my early days, my squat was like disproportionate to my bench, but I've been working on the bench a bit. But I think I got up to 275 on the back squat this week. A couple of days ago, something like that. When No, that was last week I did that. This week I went a bit lighter and I was going more for depth, profundo, más profundo. But yeah, I was doing a lot of walking around the mountains when I was little, you know what I mean? So I got mad calves already. And a half. That half is important. You know what I mean? Down at the bottom of the pubs. Every second counts. Alright, let's get on with our charts. We're in the top 40 now. Bottom 40, should I say. We're in the bottom 40. We're counting down the bottom 40. If you've not yet smashed the like. Do it for the ancestors. Do it for Jesus. Do it for your own self-respect. Alright. We're at number 40. Let me load my track, you thing. Thank you. At number 40, it's Jordan Peterson, Akira, No Such Thing as a Dragon, Part 3, orchestral version. Orchestral version. Oh God, sometimes machine. There we go. Lovely. Let's get some. Make some noise in the chat. And when I say some, I mean all of it.
By the time Billy came back downstairs, the dragon had grown so much he filled the hall. Billy had to go around by way of the living room to get to where his mother was. I didn't know dragons grew so fast, said Billy. There's no such thing as a dragon, said Mother firmly.
There ain't no such thing. There ain't no such thing as a dragon.
Cleaning the downstairs took Mother all morning. What with the dragon in the way and having to climb in and out of windows to get from room to room. By noon, the dragon filled the house. Its head hung out the front door, its tail hung out the back door, and there wasn't a room in the house that didn't have some part of the dragon in it. When the dragon awoke from his nap, he was hungry. The bakery truck went by. The smell of fresh bread was more than the dragon could resist. He ran down the street after the bakery truck. The house went along, of course, like the shell on a snail. When Mr. Bixby came home for lunch, the first thing he noticed was that his house was gone. Luckily, one of the neighbors was able to tell him which way it went. Mr. Bixby got in his car and went looking for the house. He studied all the houses as he drove along. Finally, he saw one that looked familiar. Billy and Mrs. Bixby were waving from an upstairs window. Mr. Bixby climbed over the dragon's head onto the porch roof and through the upstairs window. How did this happen? Mr. Bixby asked. It was the dragon, said Billy. There's no such thing, Mother started to say.
There ain't no such thing. There ain't no such thing as a dragon. There ain't no such thing. There ain't no such thing as a dragon.
There is a dragon, Billy insisted, a very big dragon. And Billy patted the dragon on the head. The dragon wagged its tail happily. Then, even faster than it had grown, the dragon started getting smaller. Soon it was kitten size again. I don't mind dragons this size, said Mother. Why did it have to grow so big? I'm not sure, said Billy. I think it just wanted to be noticed.
There ain't no such thing. There ain't no such thing as a dragon. There
wrote that, I had a little cry. I remember now. No such thing as the Dragon 3 orchestral version. That's a new entry at number 44. Little factoid about that. The piano on that was performed by the great Mike Barker, co-creator of American Dad, amongst many other things. A brilliant man and a Meaningwave enjoyer. And he sent me a video of him playing the piano. Just like, you know, the way a homie will send you a video of them doing something. He sent me a video of him playing the piano. And I was making this record at the time, and I was like, oh God, this is perfect for this song. And it was, you know, it really was. So shout out to my guy Mike. Miss you. Make some noise for all of that. Number 39 is it's a new one, baby. And it's the Meaningstream's favorite. One is Free with Joseph Campbell.
The point I want to make is this, that all of these divine interpretations of local law, of local social orders, are simply cooked up. They're not true. The society has changed with time. These are functions of conditions, geography, and history. One must realize that the moral order is in flux, is changing. There is no God-given right, wrong, false.
Nuke that lake, you bad man.
And with that kind of relativism, one is free to live as a human being. One is free. One is free. One is free. One is free to live as a human being.
One is free. This is one of my all-time favorites, says CH. It's a banger. I'm not crying, you're crying, says Chris Beatty.
Akira. He's got clout.
I love the orchestral versions of your songs. Do more of those, says Bungie Animated.
Quite the way we educate our youngsters. We have another idea for them.
Number 38.
Traditional notion
it's a new entry
of a mature adult is a person who behaves as he ought to behave, who behaves as the society has always asked him to behave. Grandpa behaved this way, so did great-grandpa, and every kid who didn't was eaten. So we all behave this way. That is to say, the adult is the one who accepts and represents the order of the society without question. This you get in all traditional societies. Now you know what we call a person who behaves that way. A stuffed shirt. A person who behaves as he ought to behave.
Yeah, we in a little Joseph Campbell section right here. At this point, at the bottom 50. Number 37.
State.
Up 8.
Human development is that of...
Here it comes.
Coming up. Just about when you learn how to do what they've been trying to teach you, and you begin to fumble. Then you have to put stuff together, and for another few years, act as though you still could do it. And then everybody else begins to see you. He's not doing so well. They put another waiter in to take over the job for you, and that kind of thing. You're gradually eased out. you're gradually eased out.
Make some noise.
The first half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think, here it comes, here it comes. And the last half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think, here it comes, here it comes.
Yeah, knock on that like. Do me a favor, go knock on that like.
Of the local social mythology was to bring you from childhood.
CH is like, bro, how?
To responsibility in terms of social demand.
Not everyone is as enlightened as you.
It's about when you're beginning to feel good about it all. The society that has said you've got to do what we want begins to say, well, looks as though you can't do what we want, so you're on your own. Then you have what's called a nervous breakdown. The first half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think, here it comes, here it comes. And the last half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think, here it comes, here it comes. First half of life, when
yeah, Joseph Campbell, baby.
You think,
Akira the Dawn from the album.
And the last half of life,
I can't remember what the album was called. What's the album called?
The door, you think, here it comes.
I remember my album title. Songs about mythology?
When there's a knock on the door.
Songs of mythology.
You think,
good gosh.
Here it comes. And the last half of life.
Amanda's like celebrating, she happy.
You think,
she likes this.
Here it comes.
She says, yes, it'll be up another 8 in a few days. You don't understand. Up means going towards the bottom.
Here it comes. And the last half of life.
Down in the bottom 50 is escaping the bottom 50. Does that make sense? Shit, maybe it'll be number 1 one day. That'd be good.
When there's not
least streamed
you think
of all Meaningwave songs. It's great. I mean, you know, last month it was a brilliant song. You know,
when there's a knock on the door.
Full Color says songs of mythology. Yes, of course. CH says this one hits deep. It do, right?
The door.
I do. Now, lucky for me, I'm doing Noah numbers. You know, I'm living to like 900. Although I heard something recently which disturbed me. Right, and it is this. Did you know that in pre-Egyptian cultures, they measured time by the moon, right? And they would call those years. So if you're reading super old shit, oftentimes when they're talking about years, they're talking about a cycle of the moon. All right, so in some old tales, when they're talking about people living to 900 years, it is possible that it wasn't that people lived super long in those days because they were kind of god beings. It's possible that the stories are based on accounts of times when they were using the cycle of the moon as a year. This is a recent discovery for me, and I find it disturbing because, as you all know, I have been aiming at doing Noah numbers. I'm like, well, if that motherfucker Noah could do 900 and be collapsing drunk in a vineyard at 900, why not Akira the Dawn? Why not me? Now, if I'm 43, which apparently I am I in the last half of life as opposed to the first half?
Half of life. When there's a knock on the door.
My nan, not if I go by my nan, because my nan lived to like 90, what was she, 93?
When there's a knock on the door, you think, here it comes.
And you know, she never bench pressed nothing. She bench pressed a sandwich.
When there's a knock.
She smoked a lot of fags, you know.
You think?
She was in the war. I mean, they were tough, those girls in the war.
And the last half of life.
Anyway, shit. You know, I gotta look into all these things.
Here it comes.
Number 36, we got a new entry. Hello, Jordan D. Peterson. Hello, orchestral version. What's more worthwhile than that?
The fact that I know that the information that I'm purveying by all these means is helping people sort out their lives. Thousands and thousands of people. It's overwhelming. and it's great. And that's well worth it. I'm afraid that we're on the precipice of doing something quite stupid. And I was hoping that if enough people pull themselves together and return with some understanding to the core values that made our culture great and make all cultures great, the real values that human beings have to guide themselves by, that will avoid unnecessary catastrophe and that will put the world in a better place. I think we can do that. What's more worthwhile than that? What's more worthwhile than that? What's more worthwhile than that? You know, and I know it's working because I get thousands of letters of people saying, mostly they say thing.
Where's Cosmic Kangaroo?
Traditional initiation, right?
What's more worthwhile than that? Orchestral version, new entry number 36 and number 35, up to.
Sometimes, and usually.
Your mother's no good.
Frightening and actually very painful rituals, so that the individual will no longer think he's a little boy. There's some rather amusing ones from Australia, for instance. Things are pretty fierce. When little boys begin to become kind of nasty and difficult for their mothers to handle, the women get together and give them a good beating around the legs with sticks and so forth, and then in a few weeks, something very interesting happens. The men, all dressed up in strange, godlike costumes, such as the youngsters have always been taught were the figures of the divinities, they come in with bull roars and yowls and all kinds of terrifying noises, and the children, the boys, run to their mothers for protection. And the mothers pretend to protect them. And the men grab them and take them away, so mother's no good anymore. Now they have to face this thing. And what they have to face is really no fun. So mother's no good anymore. Now they have to face this thing. And then what they have to face is really no fun. So mother's no good anymore. Now they have to face this thing. And then what they have to face is really no fun.
I can't believe this. Up 6, number 34. Accepted 2. Alan Watson, Carl Young. Incredible.
I want to read a passage from one of his lectures, which I think is one of the greatest things he ever wrote, and which has been a very marvelous thing for me. People forget that even doctors have moral scruples, and that certain patients' confessions are hard even for a doctor to swallow. Yet the patient does not feel himself accepted, unless the very worst of him is accepted too. Unless the very worst of him is accepted too. Yet the patient does not feel himself accepted, unless the very worst of him is accepted too. No one can bring this about by mere words. It comes only through reflection. And through the doctor's attitude towards himself, of his own dark side. If the doctor wants to guide another, or even accompany him a step of the way, he must feel with that person's psyche when he passes judgment. Unless the very worst of him is accepted too. Unless the very worst of him is accepted too. The patient does not feel himself accepted. Unless the very worst of him is accepted. Whether he puts his judgments into words or keeps them to himself makes not the slightest difference. To take the opposite position and to agree with the patient offhand is also of no use. Feeling comes only through unprejudiced objectivity.
this sounds almost like a scientific precept, and it could be confused with a purely intellectual, abstract attitude of mind. But what I mean is something quite different. It is a human quality, a kind of deep respect for the facts, for the man who suffers from them, and for the riddle of such a man's life. The truly religious person has this attitude. He knows that God has brought all sorts of strange and inconceivable things to pass, and seeks in the most curious ways to enter a man's heart. He therefore senses in everything the unseen presence of the divine will. Unless the very worst of him is accepted too. Unless the very worst of him is accepted too. Yet the patient does not feel himself accepted. Unless the very worst of him is accepted too. Unless the very worst of him is accepted too. Unless the very worst of him is accepted too. Yet the patient does not feel himself accepted. Unless the very worst of him is accepted too. It is a moral achievement on the part of the doctor, who ought not to let himself be repelled by sickness and corruption.
Absolutely incredible that is so unloved, and I love it very much. I don't know about you. And that reminds me, hey, Jason, could you post the link in the chat to the playlist? It hasn't been updated yet, has it? You haven't done that yet, have you? I'm sure you haven't because you're smart. Everyone make sure you're following the playlist and that you listen to it, regularly, or you put it on when you're asleep or something. And just so that these unloved songs get more love, you know what I mean? What is that noise? Life is weird. Whoa! Oh, shit, this is too good. Number 33, up 17.
What happens is that the old fascination disappears, an echo remains, and you... The old fascination disappears, an echo remains. The old fascination disappears, an echo remains, and you have, as it were, the vestige of mythology. The problem of our present age is to recreate the mythology for today, on which people will live, on which the society will grow. It is being done. It's being done well. People aren't always looking in the right place for it, but it is taking shape. Our great artists, Akira, our great poets, our great scientists, Erwin Schrödinger's little book, My View of the World. This is a vision of a poet and of a first-rate physical scientist, and it has the same song in it that one reads and hears in the old Upanishads and in the sayings of the great prophets. Nature is still ours. Still ours. It is in us. It is in the universe.
Hey, look, it's Cosmic Kangaroo. We were just talking about you.
Nature is still ours.
It's still ours.
It is in us. It is in the universe.
Hey.
Akira.
What's cracking, baby? How you doing?
Akira.
Hey, what was that? That was number 33, Nature is Still Ours, Joseph Campbell, up 17. Up 2 at 32. It's this, baby. It's Using Machines.
Akira.
Mike Can, what's up? Full Killer, what's up? Says it surprises me even after all these years there's still a vast amount of Meaningwave enjoyers ignorant to the existence of these streams. It boggles the mind. It is boggling. It's true. It is true. I would say 0.0003% of Meaningwave enjoyers know this stream exists. It would seem. And I need to do more about that. Wifey the other day suggested putting the regular stream information in headers and things like that, so mayhap. Bungie Animator says, I think the static Meaningwave animation in the background. Where?
Akira.
You mean the static on my TVs over there? You mean that?
Akira.
Is messing with YouTube's compression algorithm and making the rest of the video JPEGy. Video looks good to me. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the stream right now. That's how I'm reading the chat, and it looks great. Did I miss something? Did it go bad when something? Let me know. Warning. Oh God, there's a warning. There's a warning. How can there be a warning? Interesting. Anyway, cross. Whatever, Sway. Multiverse Media Space says MAZ could go on a mission. Yeah, you should go on a mission. Go on a mission.
Akira.
I was talking about that. More about basic types of music indigenous to this country are the black music, blues, and the folk music that was brought over from Europe, and I guess they call it country music, or the kind of West Virginia high and low sound. Those are the two main streams of root American music. It looks like 10 years ago what they call rock and roll was kind of a blending of those two forms. And I guess what's happening now is rock is kind of dying out, and everyone is going back to the roots again. Some are going back into country, and some are going back into basic blues. I guess 4 or 5 years, the new generation's music will be, it'll have a synthesis of those two elements and some third thing. Maybe it'll be, it might rely heavily on electronics.
Tapes!
I can kind of envision maybe the one person with an arm machines, the one person with an arm machines, the one person with an arm machines, singing or speaking and using machines, the one person with an arm machines, the one person with an arm machines, the one person with an arm machines, singing or speaking and using machines.
Using Machines with Jim Morrison, up to number 32, down 7, headed for the exit, Arch Nemesis, Eric Weinstein.
Some of you have questioned why there is a ghostly image on the glass window behind me.
Sitting in a parked car, I was rear-ended rather suddenly and dramatically yesterday. The airbags in the other car went off. I got to thinking about, with all of the things that we do to try to extend life and make life worth living, we forget how fragile it is. Had things been a little bit different, I might have sustained some more serious injuries. I was just put in mind of what really is important to accomplish before we leave this beautiful world. Those two things have me thinking about a topic, which is the subject of who that person is and the importance of having an architect.
you got an arch nemesis?
Arch nemesis.
Full Killer says maybe you'll be lucky enough to have one day. Do you have one?
So in my case, I feel very fortunate that I have selected an arch nemesis who really suits me.
Arch nemesis Larry Weinstein is at number 31. It's at number 31. And shit, we're already in the top 30 now. We're in the top 30. That's great. We're getting into the top 30. Come on. Hey, we haven't done an international high five yet. So for the international high five, I would like you to tell me where you are and what you predict for number one. Where you are and what you predict for number one. That's all I want to know. Let me know. All right, international high five. Where are you? And what you predict for number one. I can tell you what number 30 is. And if you've got any children listening, maybe tell them to go away, unless they're fine with like dick jokes. Hey, it's internet historian. Be me in elementary school.
Be me in elementary school. Be me in elementary school.
Be me in elementary school. Time to present in front of the class. Get biggest boner of my life. Idea.jpg. Pull boner up and tuck it into my belt. Fits perfectly. You have to point at something at the top of the board. Front of shirt lifts up, exposing my dick tip to the whole class. My crush sitting in the front row gets huge eyeful.
My crush sitting in the front row gets huge eyeful.
Stupid Chad yells at everyone to look at my tiny dick. Not even that small. Crush starts laughing as tears start to well up in my eyes. Freak out and run out of the classroom. Laughing stock of the whole class. Laughing stock of the whole class.
Laughing stock of the whole class. Laughing stock of the whole class.
Just had to quit the only job I ever loved. Because all my students saw my tiny dick.
Man, life really is suffering. Stupid Chad said such a thing.
Be me in elementary school.
Ill Ink, Arch Nemesis has got to be one of my top 20 favorite songs in Meaningwave. I love Eric. How about that? Full Killer, A Man Can Dream, Connie. Ill Ink says, I've got a ducking arch nemesis. Did you mean to write fucking and you got fooled again? Has anyone ever meant to say ducking? Honestly, if I ever catch up with the person involved in predictive text, I mean, the whole thing, oh God, I really don't like to moan, you know. This is the age of miracles and wonders, da-da-da-da-da. But I still can't, it takes like fucking, to just type a regular sentence on one of these fucking things. I used to ride around on a bicycle with a BlackBerry writing my raps down in one hand. Never got anything wrong. I can't write like a paragraph on this without having to redo every other word. It's disgusting. Multiverse Media Space, what's up? Jonathan Renthia, McAllen, Texas. CH, Puerto Rico. I don't dare to make a prediction on this one. Max Geo, Massachusetts. Happiness is fleeting. Cinder Bailey, Crossville, Tennessee. No clue, man. All gems to me. Amanda dances Banjo Town, KS. I predict a banger. We might have a winner. Amcast, Virginia. Pow D, Vancouver Island, BC, Canadian. My favorite story. Ooh. Brave prediction. Mike Can, count me as someone who streamed this song recently. Dirk from Texas, ducking right. Cosmic Kangaroo, ducks swimming in the water equals ducking. Oh, I never thought about that. I thought it was more like when the ducks were engaged in the male-on-male rape. You know about that? That was one of the first things I remember seeing on YouTube. People used to just share animal videos on YouTube, you know? I don't know if you remember this. And people were, at one point in like 2005, it was like this mimetic activity. People found out that male ducks raped each other sometimes. And so there was a lot of videos of that on YouTube. I think that's what you call ducking. Cindy Bailey says quack. Indeed. Gartham says ducking, the verb to duck as in leaning to avoid something. Yes, we know what ducking is, but how often are you doing it? And in the context of, ducking hell, why is it so difficult to write on this ducking thing? Cool Killer says, I enjoy hearing Akira moan, especially about George R.R. Martin. Don't get me started on that. You know he's blaming Trump now for him not finishing his book, and war, and Vladimir Putin, and flipping Gary Nerdrotic. He's blaming all these people for him not finishing his fucking book. He's just moaning on his stupid Not-a-blog about how awful the world is and how glad he is that it's not 2023 anymore, as if the passing of a day is going to change anything in your stupid life. When you've got as awful a mindset as this guy. Good lord, don't get me started, Fool Killer, how dare you? I don't even want to think about that swine. Ugh, good lord. Anyway, Ill Ink says, writing songs on a BlackBerry is just a tad hardcore. It's real life. I used to ride around on a bicycle making up songs, right? Just singing them. And I would write the lyrics down on my BlackBerry in one hand while cycling. You could do that with a BlackBerry. BlackBerry was like peak telephone technology in some ways. Cindy Bailey, keeping the happy conversation going, says otters gang rape and so do dolphins. Yeah, I know dolphins do. Didn't know about otters. It doesn't surprise me. I'm not surprised at all. I don't like the cut of those guys' jibs. And dolphins as well, you know what I mean? Dolphins also pass around a pufferfish to get high. Is this a weird joke? I don't know about the pufferfish thing. I don't want to get sucked into any weird comedy. My wife in the chat says, Fool Killer, what have you done? Nothing. I ain't going there. I'm not going there. I could do that for an hour, but that's not what we're here for. You know, we're here. This is the Church of Meanings, the Temple of Meaning, as a place of glory. We're here to, you know, listen to music that will enrich our lives and make, and, you know, improve things, not moan about lazy old men blaming everything but themselves for their inability to finish what they started. Welcome to the top 30. Or should I say bottom 30, because that's what it is. You know what I mean? All them popcorn emojis in the chat, do we have those?
Be me. Go on Amazon to buy a stainless steel popcorn machine. I love popcorn. I love popcorn. God. See, they have an upgrade to Amazon Prime called Amazon Prime X. Claims to deliver your order in under 10 minutes. I think it's bullshit. Free trial, so I use it anyway. I love popcorn.
I love popcorn. Popcorn loving intensifiers.
I love popcorn. I love popcorn. Check out. 10 minutes go by. Think, I knew it was too good to be true. But then, knock knock, open up the door, it's real. With the non-stop pop stainless steel. My face, when X gon' give it to you. If I can wait for you to get it on your own, X gon' deliver to it. Be me. B16.
Be me, love pop. Look, it's Internet Historian. It's a cluster of Internet Historian-related Meaningwave songs at the 30-ish area.
B16.
I love it. Chart cluster. Number 3028.
With autistic friend to avoid PE. At team dinner night before the race. Start dicking around. He's bored as fuck.
Bored as fuck.
Bored as fuck. Autistic friends and I putting food in retarded places for the fun of it. Pour entire bottle of water on a loaf of garlic bread. Then the coach walks by. Anon, what the hell are you doing? I like it this way. 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 Shove the entire loaf of sop and garlic bread into my mouth as the coach watches. Why am I like this? Be me. B16. Be me. B16. Be me. B16.
Internet Historian cluster there. Now the big question is we going to hear like the masterpiece? The Be Me play Minecraft? Or is that not in the bottom 50? We will find out. Amanda Dancy says whistling is greatness. Cosmic Kangaroo says I like Internet Historian. Is the only Australian in Meaningwave, is he? Is he the only Australian? How is it we've got so many Canadians? But one Oz. E. There's something weird there. Where are all the Australian philosophers and intellectuals and speakers of glory? Cosmic Kangaroo, where are they? Are they in my to-do list? Oh, God, who's Australian? I'm trying to think of people who are Australian now. There's Kylie Minogue, Jason Donovan, Danny Minogue, Guy from Neighbours. Number 27, down 5 points, down. That's good, it's on its way that way, it's escaping. It's headed for the top 50.
And there's never been a better day to be alive. We are broadcasting live from the peak of recorded human civilization, and you're listening to Lost Flame Radio. Coming up next, we have the brand new signal from Akira in the dark. This is the Golden Age.
Hey! Guess I've been away. golden age. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da da. Grateful for the day. I've been cleaning up my room. I don't wanna be one of them anyway. I knew it from the start, just look at what we made. Stepping into my life and I'm not afraid at all. Cause we believe in us, and we believe, and we know it's about to be a golden age. It's a golden age. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Yo, you smash that like, yeah? Smash that like in honor of this gloriful bop. Lane says, this is so catchy. This one's in the bottom 50. No way, says Lane Stewart. We didn't do the international high five. I read them. Then I got distracted. Was it because I got distracted by George Martin? George R.R. Martin. Now, if I was George R.R. Martin, I'd go, "Ooh, George R.R. Martin distracted me." But they know I take responsibility for losing my train of thought and allowing myself to be distracted. You know, and not doing the international high five. That is what you might call remiss. That was remiss of me. You know? And I don't go around like actively aiming at being remiss. You know what I mean? I actually actively aim at the other thing. So join me, brothers and sisters, as we bind ourselves together energetically across space and across time. I forgot I had that sound on my soundboard. I'm always like, oh, I wish I had one of them. Oh, I've got one. It's right there. Listen to that. Isn't that great? All right. 3, 2, 1.
Akira. He's got clout.
And very synchronistically nestled next to The Golden Age, which was inspired by Scott Adams in some ways. Here's the first Akira the Don and Scott Adams song, which is also in some ways the first Akira the Don and Norm Macdonald song. Hey. 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 Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum.
Here we are. It's the beginning of another great day. A sunny summer day. It's the best day for you know what. I'm going to read you a quote from Noam MacDonald. And he says this: the idiot sees the world as good versus evil. The cynic sees the world as evil versus evil. The truth that no one seems to be able to see is that the world is, and always has been, a battle of good versus good. The verse is good.
Pum pum pum. Pum pum pum.
This is good. Wow. This is actually really profound. This is the situation we find ourselves in. There are not two sides in which one is good and one is evil. There are two sides in which one feels that it is good and it believes, incorrectly, that the other one is evil. But both sides are pretty sure that their version of the world is the good one.
Wow. Wow.
The world is, and always has been, a battle of good versus
good.
Versus good. Versus good. Versus good. Versus good.
Don't I know it?
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Number 26, Down by One. Good versus Good with Scott Adams and Norm Macdonald. Number 25.
I should make it clear,
Holy shit.
I don't believe.
Down 16.
I find believing in these complicated synthetic systems to come
More people listen to this month. Thank God.
So I entertain ideas, but I don't give belief over. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. A meme replicator. Naturally, this question arose in our group. Why us? Why us? Why are the aliens revealing the unified field?
Hey, Godspeed, Max Geo.
To us. And the mushroom just replied without hesitation.
¿Por qué?
Because you don't believe in me.
Ah, shit.
That apparently is what's required. Do you all know that Van Morrison song about no guru, no method, no teacher, just you and me and nature in the garden? I think that's actually where it's at. So what I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. What I do, I'm a meme spreader. A meme replicator.
I wish.
Number 25, Meme Magic, down 16. Number 24, up 11.
There was some weird genie that could take us back into time so that every one of you could live one fucking day in your great-great-grandparents' shoes and understand how fucking good you have it. Like if you really, really understood. I'm not naive to what's happening in our society.
Flood the chat, let's go!
Very clear so everybody gets it through their fucking dome. This is the greatest year to ever be alive.
You hear that, George R. R. Martin?
This is the greatest year to ever be alive in the history of mankind. This is the best. This is the best. This is the greatest year to ever be alive in the history of mankind.
Hey, we found out something. I was wondering, I said, will we see number 24, the greatest year, Gary V, up 11? I was like, so we see the other Internet Historian song? Is that annoying? Or is it cool? Will we see the other internet historian song, The Masterpiece? It's a lot of people's favorite song. It's a masterpiece, I don't give a fuck. Yo, we do. Less people listen to The Masterpiece than the other ones. Be Me Playing Minecraft is down 5. That means it's further from the bottom than it was last week, which is pretty amazing.
Friday.
It should still be number 1 in the top 50.
In my room, playing Minecraft. Dad comes in. Hey, buddy. Have any plans for the weekend?
My son likes this song.
No, not really, no. Why don't you go out with some friends? It's a nice night. Conversation continues for another 5 minutes. Dad asks about girls and my friends. I try to dodge around admitting I have no friends and no experience with girls. But he knows. But he knows. Okay, buddy. Just let me know if you ever want to ride somewhere. Or you can borrow my car anytime you want. Pats me on the shoulder and leaves. I get back to Minecraft. After a few minutes, feel thirsty. No drinks in my room. Venture out to the kitchen. Hear my dad in the living room, crying. Look around the corner. He's looking through photo albums of pictures of me. Hey, Dad. He looks up, trying to hide that he was crying. I'm going out with some friends. Can I borrow the car? He smiles the happiest smile I've seen in years. Sure thing, buddy. He gets up and hugs me, tears in his eyes. I get dressed, get in the car and leave. I drive to an empty parking lot in an industrial area. I go to sleep in the back seat. Return home the next morning. Pretend I was out with friends all night. Dad hugs me again. I've been doing this almost every weekend for months now.
Minecraft is a fucking masterpiece. I don't give a fuck. Masterpiece song and video, says Cosmic Kangaroo. Annoyingly cool, says Amanda Johnson. So real, says AI. Walking More Poet says this song is so hauntingly beautiful. Blue Riot says masterpiece. Bell Ink says, oh, this song's so sad. Walking More Poet says, as a dad, it shatters me and makes me feel afraid. Don't be afraid. You ain't like they ain't. You know what I mean? You have more faith in your capacity. What up, Sway says, oh, solo dolo sad boy pops. Jeff from Texas says, what is this song? I can't scroll back in chat for some reason. Be Me Play Minecraft with Internet Historian. Be Me Play Minecraft with Internet Historian is at number 23. It's down 8, down 5. Down 5, which means it was being played. It was played more this month than the previous month, which is good news for it. Speaking of which, the Meaningstream is brought to you by Meaningwave.com. Maybe you want a Be Me t-shirt to commemorate like the glory of this this rare Meaningwave release. Be the envy of your friends who who are not as cool as you and don't know about this record. And get this lovely record with the lovely artwork I made. There on the front of it, it's a lovely cotton shirt like the one I'm wearing, and smells very nice. And is made in the USA. What more could you want? Meaningwave.com. Because happiness is a side effect of meaning. Yeah. Okay, we are now about to hit the top. No, we're not quite. We're nearly in the top 20. Be me. Sway. Oh, God. Sway says we're making it out of incognito mode with this one. My son is obsessed with that meme. You'll know him. He leaves comments on this channel under one of his aliases. It's always one of those. He left one on a Theo Von video. This was very funny. Multiverse Media Space says this is the one I was thinking of earlier. Heck of a vibe.
I'm going to Mars!
Speaking of my son.
I'm going to space!
That was him when he was really small. Space. It's all Fool Killer's favorite songs. Number 22. Jack Kirby. He died yesterday.
I see that story.
He's immortal though, isn't he?
I feel that story first.
I feel that story first.
I know those people first. When I put them down, they've already lived. I put them down as I'd like them to live on those pages. My stories are very sincere. My stories are people's stories. And there's elements in my stories that are very, very real. Doesn't matter what the subject is. And I've done stories in a wide range of subjects. My inspirations were the fact that I had to make sales. I put them down as I'd like them to live on those pages. My stories are very sincere. I had to make sales. I put them down as I'd like them to live on those pages. My stories are very sincere. I had to make sales.
And incredibly, once again, I had to make sales with Jack Kirby. Up 1 at number 22. Sat right next to at 21. Just because someone has a superpower with Stanley.
Incredible. To me, the human aspect of superheroes has always been the most important part. Your superhero might be extra strong, or might be able to fly or run as fast as a comet. But unless you care about the superhero's personal life, you're just reading a shallow story. Just because a person has a superpower doesn't mean he might not have the same personal problems that you or I might. Just because a person has a superpower doesn't mean he might not have the same personal problems that you or I might. Maybe he doesn't have enough money. Maybe he has a family problem. Or maybe the girl he loves doesn't love him. Or maybe the girl he loves doesn't want to be involved with a superhero. There are so many things you can think of that round out the character and the personality. So the superhero isn't just 1 or 2 dimensional. You want a 3-dimensional superhero who lives and breathes and worries and experiences things just the way you and I do, except for the fact that he or she has a superpower. because a person has a superpower doesn't mean he might not have the same personal problems that you or I might. Just because a person has a superpower doesn't mean he might not have the same personal problems that you or I might. Just because a person...
Yeah. Incredibly, right next to each other.
Doesn't mean...
In the bottom 50,
have the same...
Jack Kirby and Stanley.
That you or I...
Together forever.
Because a person...
In Meaningwave Dreams.
Power doesn't mean...
How does that happen? It's absolutely incredible.
That you or I might.
And we're now entering the top 20. And at 20.
There was the shriek of a door being torn from its hinges. Screams and barking cries of consternation came from the television set. The photograph of Harrison Bergeron on the screen jumped again and again, as though dancing to the tune of an earthquake. George Bergeron correctly identified the earthquake, and well might have, for many was the time his own home had danced to the same crashing tune. "My God," said George. "That must be Harrison." The realization was blasted from his mind instantly by the sound of an automobile collision in his head. When George could open his eyes again, the photograph of Harrison was gone. A living, breathing Harrison filled the screen. Clanking, clownish, and huge, Harrison stood in the center of the studio. The knob of the uprooted studio door was still in his hand. Ballerinas, technicians, musicians, and announcers cowered on their knees before him, expecting to die. "I am the Emperor," cried Harrison. "Do you hear? I am the Emperor. Everybody must do what I say at once." He stamped his foot and the studio shook. "Even as I stand here, crippled, hobbled, sickened, I am a greater ruler than any man who ever lived. Now watch me become what I can become."
Watch me become what I can become.
Crazy. At number 20, Harrison Bergeron finally equal with Kurt Vonnegut. At number 19, Harrison Bergeron 2, Back to the Dark Ages again with Kurt Vonnegut. And at number 18, not Kurt Vonnegut, I haven't lined this one up. And technically, I don't even know if that was the right bit of that to play at that point, but I played a bit of it. That was, if you've never heard of it before, it was an early Meaningwave experiment where I kind of meaning-waved a short story by Kurt Vonnegut called Harrison Bergeron about a completely impossible future where equity is realized, where they do equity. And everybody is forcibly equal, and pretty ladies have to wear bags on their head, and strong people have to have large chains and things attached to them so they're not able to operate better than weak people and things of that nature. It's really quite the trip, and could never happen in our world. No one would ever want anything crazy like that. No. Number 18, down 7, down 3, actually down 3.
He's got clout.
Even if those
one of my most very favorite lists.
Born
and never lose touch with the knowledge of their true nature. They are not much help to humanity because they don't know how to meet anybody where they are. In order to be of help to humanity, you have to take the pathways yourself. You have to take the pathways yourself that you are then going to suggest to others. There was a beautiful comment Darfrey John made. He said a beautiful thing. He said, I had to become like you so that you could become like me. I had to become like you so that you could become like me. He claimed to have been born without forgetting his true nature. But he realized that he was of no use to humanity in that condition. So he consciously forgot his own nature so as to have to find pathways for himself back home in order to then make those pathways available to other people. And hence he said, I had to become like you. In order for you to become like me. I had to become like you. In order for you to become like me.
Number 18, down 3. One of my most very favorites.
Become like you.
I Had to Become Like You with Rupert Spira. Hey Jason, could you put up the link in the chat for the playlist? Presuming it hasn't been updated yet. That'll happen at the end. Make sure you're following the playlist and you're playing the playlist, the bottom 50 playlist. Maybe leaving it on as you go to sleep, things like that. In order that some of these songs get the shine they deserve, and maybe one day even find themselves in the upper echelons of the top 50 itself. Imagine that. Imagine that. Wrestling with Jocko up there, you know what I mean? number 17. New entry. It's a new entry at number 17. Criteria for choosing an arch nemesis with Eric Weinstein.
What are the criteria that I think are most important when choosing an arch nemesis? First of all, it should be somebody that you want to see in this world. You should be sad if somehow your arch nemesis were to meet a bad end. Because you want that person to be with you, competing with you for the long haul. It should be somebody that you would be very upset if you found out that they were suddenly dead and removed from this mortal coil. It should also be somebody who accepts you as his or her arch nemesis. I don't think you should just go about deciding that Elon Musk or Donald Trump is your arch nemesis if they've never even heard of you, much less they don't obsess about you. What are the criteria that I think are most important when choosing an arch nemesis? What are the criteria that I think are most important when choosing an arch nemesis? An arch nemesis. An arch nemesis. What are the criteria that I think are most important when choosing an arch nemesis? So in my case, the objective was to try to understand what the physical world was all about. What is this place in which we are having this conversation? What is this strange place that we call reality? The gentleman who is depicted over my shoulder on the glass in dry erase ink is Garrett Leeson. And he was famous, or infamous, several years ago as the surfer dude with the theory of everything. He lives in Maui, has somehow never seemingly really held a job that...
I think you've seen Theo Von's dad.
He's made a couple of investment decisions which have really worked out. Make sure that he doesn't have to work. He doesn't have to work. He has a very enviable lifestyle, but he's also willing to live in a van with zero security. So he's a real risk taker. And what's more, he's very interested in approach to finding a theory of everything, or a theory of reality, if you will, that I think is quite interesting and beautiful. I just don't think it's going to work. I just don't think it's going to work. It's based on a set of symmetries which are called a Lie group. But in his case, the Lie group he chose was also the Lie group that I found most interesting, called E8. And it's a 248-dimensional beast of an object we can't really visualize. It is suggestive because of ways in which it combines what you might call regular vector-like objects with exotic spinner-like objects. Think about vectors as what gives you photons protons and spinners is what gives you electrons. So somehow vectors and spinners are bound together in this crazy object. And Garrett decided to make that the centerpiece of his attempt to unify physics. Now, despite the fact that I think Garrett's wrong, I don't think what he's doing will work. He's one of the only people in the entire world who are willing to put forward what might be termed something like a theory of everything. Now, you can say that it's incomplete, you can say that it's inconsistent, but it is clearly an attempt to explain the world that we live in using a very complicated piece of mathematical machinery. And despite the fact that I don't believe that it works or even can be made to work, it is still a direct attempt at resolving the major puzzles of our time, rather than working on the mathematical structure of physics. So it's an attempt at an actual physical idea rather than an attempt at improving the mathematics around physics, hoping that that will produce the answer.
Absolute screw face on that one. I listened to that for ages. What a fucking... The beat on that is insane. I even remember, like, I vaguely remember making it. So vaguely. I don't know what I was up, like... Wow. Them little wibbly noises. What that was, like, designed to sound like that shit he was talking about. You know what I mean? That was my attempt to sonically describe what he was talking about. That's crazy. Ill Ink's happy. So much Weinstein. What an absolute delight. Jacob says reality, a divine dance with existence. And Amanda Dances says, oh my heavens, I like a lot. How is this bottom anything? I know, right? Says Mowgli. I mean, that's what you get, man. Well, that's what you get when you listen to the Meaningwave Bottom 50. You go, what the shitting utter fuck? What the skateboarding blazers? How are these bangers down here? For example, number 15, down 5. Carnival.
Entirely creatures of habit. Young children are born with no habit loops. They're essentially born as blank slates. And then they habituate themselves to things and they learn patterns and they get conditioned and they use that to get through everyday life. And habits are good. Habits are good. Habits are good. Habits can allow you to background process certain things. So habits are good so that your frontal lobe stays available to solve brand new problems. So unconsciously pick up habits in the background and we keep them for decades and we may not realize that they're bad for us. So we're ready to move on from them.
Yeah, make some noise in the chat for Naval.
Then, our attitude in life, our mood, our
wave emojis for Naval.
Level, these are also habits.
And all them good ass habits.
Do we judge people?
You ain't smashed that like yet, do that thing. That should be a habit. It should be a habit. You should step in the blaze, hit the like.
Do we exercise? Do we read? These are habits. habits as well. You absolutely need habits to function. You cannot solve every problem in life as if it's the first habits thrown at you. But what we do is we accumulate all these habits. We put them in the bundle of identity, ego, ourselves, and then we get attached to that. I'm Shane, this is the way I am. I'm Paul, this is the way I am. It's really important to be able to uncondition yourself, to be able to take your habits apart and say, oh, okay, well, that's a habit that I probably picked up from when I was a toddler and I was trying to get my parents' attention. And now I've just reinforced it, and I call it part of my identity. But is it serving me anymore? Is it making me happier? Is it making me healthier? Is it making me accomplish whatever I want to set out to accomplish right now? And so I think you can uncondition yourself, you can untrain yourself. It's just hard. It takes work, it takes effort. And usually the big habit changes come when there's strong desire motivators attached to them. Habits are good. Habits are good. Habits are good. Habits are good.
I did the stories and I did the illustrations. Sometimes they were bus scripts, but I throw them out the window. I happen to be a guy who does what he wants, lives the way he wants to. I love people in general, even the villains in my comics. To me, a people, there is something in their lives that makes them become a problem to others. That's how I saw everyone. Whatever I put in my comics, I hopefully feel that this love that people may have been transmitted to them and help them in, not help them in any way, I'm not a psychiatrist, but just giving them another friend. My characters never die. It's my own view to humanity itself. We never really die. You live on in your son, you live on it.
Oh, them nukes for Jack Kirby. Nukes in the chat for Jack Kirby.
Answer, but somehow I feel that our lives are endless. The source, like everything else, is an everyday fact. The source lives with us day by day. We don't know what the source is, where it is. We can't identify its form, but we know it's there. This thing, this tremendous thing, governs our lives, and somehow we can all feel it inside. It's referred to as spiritual. It's referred to in many other ways, but we know instinctively that it's there, and that's what I put down in my stories, because like everybody else, I felt this thing. I felt this thing. And I felt that it was real. And I've kept it with me all my life. Now, I didn't resolve the questions. I'm a guy who lives with a lot of questions. I say, what's out there? And I try to resolve that. And I never can. I don't think anybody can. Who's got the answers? I sure would like to hear the ultimate one. But I haven't yet. And so I live with a lot of questions. And I find that entertaining. And if my life would have went tomorrow, it would be fulfilled in that manner. I would say,
Yo, banger, my God. Good gosh, number 14, up 6. The questions have been terrific. Up 6, that means less people listened to it in the past month than the previous. Can you believe that? That's crazy. Come on. Jack Kirby. What a banger. That tune's crazy. Good gosh. Shouts out to the version of me that was doing that sort of thing. I don't even know if I could do that today. I don't know if I would. I would do something else now, wouldn't I? Because I'm different. The guy I used to be did that. And that was. I'm glad he did. That was when he lived in LA. He had that studio downtown. He used to stay there till like silly o'clock in the morning, just like in the dark with neon lights, doing stuff. Inventing Meaningwave, you know, all that. Power D says, first time hearing this outstanding track. Shouts out to you. Illink says, I'm going to listen to the Weinstein album on repeat now just to get it off the bottom 50. Well, good, because it ain't over for you Weinstein enjoyers down at the bottom here, because a new entry, a number 12. The beats I did for this EP were crazy. This is like anthem thing, right?
Akira.
Some of yourself.
It would be better if the person was roughly your age. I shared some of your characteristics.
Hey.
I think you need to be able to see some of yourself in your arch nemesis. I think you need to be able to see some of yourself in your arch nemesis.
In my case, I feel like Garrett has been a renegade. He has broken rules, but he's also been an insider and an outsider. He has a PhD in physics. He has been more outside the system. I stayed longer probably in the academic game than he did. There is a sort of a degree of comparability. That lies over my shoulder. I started to feel better about it when I saw into Floyd Mayweather's home after he defeated Conor McGregor. There was a photograph taken of Floyd Mayweather with giant pictures of him and Conor McGregor inside of his home. And so the idea that you would actually want to represent your arch nemesis inside of your personal space, it makes complete sense to me.
I think you need to be able to see
some of yourself in your arch nemesis. I think you need to be able to see some of yourself in your arch nemesis. I think you need to be able to see some of yourself in your arch nemesis. I think you need to be able to see some of yourself in your arch nemesis.
Some of yourself in your arch nemesis, Akira the Don and Eric Weinstein. Chillin' at number 12. New addition to the bottom 50 chart. And at number 11, and this shows the power. The power, because this was number 1 last month. And it's dropped to number 11, which means a few more of you listened to it in the past month than did the previous. Oh, wait! Akira. Shouts out to James Altucher. Idea. Awesome.
I realized this way back. First off, everybody says, oh, ideas are a dime a dozen, execution is everything. And they just assume that at some point they'll be walking around and like lightning will strike them and they'll think, oh my gosh, people should share cars and I'll make an app in the middle to connect people with cars and I'll call it Uber. No, ideas don't really work like that. Nor does execution work the way most people think. People think, I'm going to take this great idea and now I'm going to do it. The doing it can happen in 1,000 different ways. People don't realize there's a whole spectrum of execution ranging from really, really bad so that an idea will fail, or really, really good so that even a bad idea might have a chance for success. For success. Having ideas is like a muscle. Having ideas is like a muscle. Idea muscle. Having ideas is like a muscle. Idea muscle. I'll try to practice having 10 ideas a day. Idea muscle. Doesn't have to be a good idea or a bad idea. Idea muscle. But it keeps that in practice. If you're sick and you lie in bed for 2 weeks, you might actually need physical therapy to walk again. Your leg muscles atrophy that fast. It's the same thing with ideas. If you don't have ideas every day, your idea muscle is not going to get bigger. It might atrophy. And so I try to practice. I'll come up with a topic and I'll try to practice having 10 ideas a day around. Each day will be a different topic, but I'll try to have 10 good ideas around that topic. Now, they won't be good ideas because you can't have 3,650 good ideas a year. But I try to make sure they're as good as they possibly could be. I've been doing this ever since I wanted to network, and I'm not a very good networker. I wanted to ask my heroes, can I buy you a cup of coffee and pick your brain? And so I wrote to 20 people. They didn't even say no. None of them responded. Why would they respond? Warren Buffett's not going to say, hold everything. Clear my schedule, Gladys. He's never going to even respond to me. He's going to think I'm an idiot. Gladys! So then I started writing down, I started researching everyone's business, and I started writing down 10 ideas for Warren Buffett's business, 10 ideas for this person's business, 10 ideas for this person's business. And then I would send those ideas to the people, and I would say, hey, you don't have to respond to this. I don't want anything, but I really admire you and your business. Here's 10 things where I think your business can improve. And then I started getting responses, and it actually changed my life, some of those responses. And so I started doing it every single day without fail. Since then, idea muscle. Having ideas is like a muscle. Idea muscle. I'll try to practice having 10 ideas a day. Idea muscle. Doesn't have to be a good idea or a bad idea. Idea muscle. But it keeps that idea muscle in practice. Every day. 10 ideas a day. Ideas every day.
Yeah. Last month's number one. Last month, incredibly, this was the least listened to Meaningwave song of all the Meaningwave songs. Absolutely mental. This month, boom, number 11. On its way out of the bottom 50, on its way to the top 50 where it belongs with everything else. All Meaningwave songs belong in the top 50. That's the quandary. It's a quandary, Meaningwave enjoyer, is it not a quandary? Make some noise for yourself. Hey, if anyone here has not yet smashed the like, do me a favor, do that thing, do that thing. Rubik Spot ES says LMAO, what the fuck? Where's Second says, this is in the bottom 50? Rubik Spot says, this is one of my favorite songs. Cosmic Kangaroo says, idea muscle. Quite right too. Shecky, what's up? Mowgli says, Elon Musk must have a yoked idea muscle. Exactly. Mowgli says, I'm going to start sending ideas, Akira ideas like Homie did in the song. Yeah, you should if they're good. You should. What will be number one, says Fool Killer? I don't know. We've only got 10 to go. We're down to the top 10. Jacob Hunt says, is there Picard Meaningwave yet? Not Picard yet. We do have Star Trek Meaningwave. Is that in the top 50 or the bottom 50? Is it in the bottom 50? I don't know. Is it? I don't even know. I've done that thing. Like, Jason compiled the data, send it over. I gave it a quick glance, went whoop, but then allowed it to evaporate. So I don't know. I do know though that. Well, here's the thing I know, and let me say this first. First, I know that Meaningwave.com is the sponsor of this broadcast. Meaningwave.com, porque, because happiness is a side effect of meaning. And if you want to be super cool like me and look, I need a better angle. I need an angle where you can see my trousers, because the bottom shit I wear is just as on point as the top shit. And I only wear Meaningwave, bottom and top. And today I'm wearing the Meaningwave Neon Leopard. You know what I mean? Which I designed myself because I want pants like this. That's why I do. It's the same thing. I make the music I want to hear and program myself wherever I want. I make the clothes. I want to swag around the place. You know what I mean? So if you want to be a swaggy wave rider, you too can get pants like this. And you can get them in velvet. Isn't that crazy? Get them in velvet. Meaningwave.com, because happiness is a side effect of meaning. I got to make myself a jingle. And I got to invite you into the top 10 of the bottom 50. The 10th least loved on digital streaming platforms. Akira the Don and Charles Bukowski. Born for this.
Of grief. I even hear the mountains, the way they laugh, up and down their blue sides, and down in the water, the fish cry, and all the water is their tears. I listen to the water on nights I drink away, and the sadness becomes so great. I hear it in my clock. It becomes knobs upon my dresser. It becomes paper on the floor. It becomes a shoehorn, a laundry ticket. It becomes cigarette smoke climbing a chapel of dark vines. It matters little. Very little love is not so bad, or very little life. What counts is waiting on wall. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead.
Born for this, new entry at number 44, and amazingly at number 42, at number 9. Born for this, new entry at number 10, and a new entry at number 9. Born Like This, with Charles Bukowski. Come on.
Born like this, into this. It's the chalk face.
All them nuke emojis. All them nuke emojis. They're fitting.
As political landscapes dissolve, as the oily fish spit out their oily prey, we are born like this, into hospitals which are so expensive that it's cheaper to die, into lawyers who charge so much. Cheaper to plead guilty, into a country where the jails are full and the madhouses closed. this. Castrated, debauched, disinherited because of this. The fingers reach toward an unresponsive God. The fingers reach for the bottle, the pill, the powder. We are born into this powerful deadliness. There will be open and unpunished murder in the streets. There will be guns and roving mobs. Land will be useless. Food will become a diminishing return. Nuclear power will be taken over by the many. Explosions will continually shake the earth. Radiated men will eat the flesh of radiated men. The rotting bodies of men and animals will stink in the dark wind. And there will be the most beautiful silence never heard. Born out of that, the sun hidden there, awaiting the next chapter.
Roman Chamber says it started pouring rain here when you dropped this. Rubik's says this is wild, man. It's just all the classics that were forgotten due to a new amazing jams. I went from Doomer to Bloomer with the Bukowski song, says Mowgli. What? Says Wes the Second. This is a travesty. This is low. It was born for the top 50. Born for this. Yeah, there you go. Mike Can says, assuming the person you listen to might know something you don't, could be number one. Could be, who knows? Who knows? It's crazy out here. I know how this works. Power D, 80s retro sound. Quite. Mason says, transition slapping like cosmic dust. One does one's best. You know, one does one's best. A real dope nostalgic sounds is Power D. Yeah, well, you know, there's always reason in that. It was very much, you know, that dystopian idea of the nuke-scarred world was very prevalent in the 80s, right? That's what they was teaching us at school. You know what I mean? They were like, get under the table, you know, when the wind blows, all that type shit. You know what I mean? That was the propaganda of the time. That was number 10 and number 9. At number 8, Harrison Bergeron for A Doozy. We played some of that already, so I'll leave you all to listen to that on your own time. Number 7, another one of my very favorites. What is this doing down here? The 7th least listened to. Oh, come on, baby. Make some noise. Consciousness has other notions of how things ought to be. What virtue is, and so on, and so on, and so on.
One of the problems that man has to face is reconciling himself to the foundations of his own existence. And this is the first function of mythology. This is the first function of mythology. The reconciliation of consciousness with the mystery of being. This is the first function of mythology. Yeah. Criticizing it. Shakespeare, in his definition of art in Hamlet, where he says, art holds a mirror up to nature, is a perfect definition, I would say, of the first function of mythology. When you hold the mirror up to yourself, your consciousness becomes aware of its support. What it is that is supporting it. You may be shocked at what you see. You may be greatly pleased. But one way or another, you become aware of yourself. Your consciousness becomes aware of that darkness, that being which came into being out of darkness and which is its own support. And this is the first function of mythology. This is the first function of mythology. That reconciliation of consciousness with the mystery of being. And this is the first function of mythology.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Songs of mythology. First function of mythology. I don't know what the flip that's doing there. You'll need to go run that up. Yo! Come on now. Good gosh, Dirk from Texas says Akira the Don is a super genius. He's having his list flipped, getting super chats, and more exposure. Everyone be sure to share these streams. Well, indeed. Well, indeed. That's right, Dirk. Share these things. What it is, says Fool Killer, who's a fan of that sort of a thing. And Wes the Second says, Harrison Bergener is a masterpiece of short story song. You'll go listen to it after this. Quite right, too. And, but first we have to have a little cry. Because at number 6, that was a new entry, by the way. Did I mention that? At number 6. Down 2. Listen to a little more.
Do I feel happy in life? Let's see. Let's say I hope I'm finding happiness. Alright? Well, for me, if I can realize certain things in my work, I come the closest to being happy. And I can say that also about my life. But it only happens, I think, in moments. Sometimes when I'm working, and I'll be able to fulfill a scene truthfully, and I think I'm the happiest. What I find is very stimulating to keep studying and working. But I'm not just generally happy. If I'm generally anything, I guess I'm generally miserable. I'm not just generally happy. If I'm generally anything, I guess I'm generally miserable. I'm not just generally happy. If I'm generally anything, I guess I'm generally miserable.
Number 6, Generally Miserable, featuring Marilyn Monroe. Shouts out to Davey Evans. Appreciate the support. Says keep up the good work.
I don't know. Sometimes. I don't know. I think sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Which is natural, I guess, for everyone. I would like to be more sociable than I am. On some days. Sometimes I chat when I'm not pleased, but sometimes the work itself requires more, that I'm quiet and to myself more. And other days, like doing a musical number, I try not to get too, I like to be more outgoing, because that's what I have to express, and so I try to keep it general. I try, even if I feel like it or not, I try to make the effort to make contact with people around me. Yes, because I could easily be alone. It doesn't bother me to be alone. Some people I know, they I don't like to be alone. I don't mind it. I need it as a rest, and yeah, it kind of refreshes myself. Yeah. And a rest. I'm not just generally happy. If I'm generally anything, I guess I'm generally miserable. I'm not just generally happy. If I'm generally anything, I guess I'm generally miserable. I think there's two things in human beings that they, as I think there is in myself, that they want to be alone, but they also want to be together. You know? Because I think I have also a gay side to me, also a sad side. And I think that's the way with people on truckers. So for instance, something in people, they need solitude for a while.
Another one of my favorites there, Generally Miserable with Marilyn Monroe at number 60. The sixth least loved Meaningwave song on digital streaming platforms. Well, how about that? Shouts out again, Dewey Evans, appreciate you. Shouts out everybody locked in. We're in the top 5, we're in the bottom 5 of the bottom. God, it's confusing. But anyway, we're nearly there. We're close to understanding the situation. And here is a lot of people's favorite song on. It gets requested a lot. It's so funny how many of these are songs that get requested a lot on the Super Request show. But that's because they're rare, I guess, and because you guys are, you're the creme de la creme. You're the cutting edge. You know what I mean? For example, new entry at number 5. How?
Akira.
What's funny is if you new entry at the bottom, that means like for whatever reason a load of people stop listening. I don't know. I don't know what it means. But at number 5. Oh, them new emojis in the chat. Go, go, go.
Akira the Dawn is a British musician, DJ, and producer. He's worked in genres as diverse as pop, hip-hop, indie, dance, and more recently, perhaps, something that has come to be known as Meaningwave.
Added some cracking vinyl. The older I get, the more I know just how little I know. Most men living one bad day away from being a wino. Many sing along, but how many could hit the high notes? But for the grace of God, go Ido. Hello, hi. Fly for someone from such a place as I. You might not walk, but you might fly, because we live in such a time. It's a beautiful thing to be alive. Live, in the peak of recorded human history, hear them shout. Akira. Spoke that shit into existence. Perseverance plus persistence. Don't need motivation, we've got meaning. Discipline equals freedom. It's that! Meaningwave, 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 Meaningwave. Set the speech, got that shit to the beat. It was sweet and that's how I made Meaningwave. Meaningwave, 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 Meaningwave. Live, in the peak of recorded human history. Hear them shout. Akira. Andy Travis, what's up? Shit into existence. Perseverance plus persistence. Don't need motivation, we got meaning. Discipline equals freedom. Is that Meaningwave, 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 Meaningwave. Come on, are you bloody mad? Man like Andy Travis, a member for 2 months. 2 months of supporting this endeavor. Appreciate you, says. Feeling blessed to be here. We're blessed to have you here. Your presence is a present.
The substance of trees.
Yeah, we're in the end game now. Number 4.
That comes from...
Number 4, down 1.
Yeah, people look at trees and they think it comes...
Richard Feynman.
The plants grow out of the ground. But if you ask where the substance, you find out where do they come from. Trees come out of the air? They surely come out of the air. No, they come out of the air. No, they come out of the air. The carbon dioxide in the air goes into the tree and it changes it, kicking out the oxygen and pushing the oxygen away from the carbon and leaving the carbon substance with water. Water comes out of the ground. Only it came out of the air, didn't it? It came down from the sky. So in fact, most of the tree, almost all of the tree is out of the ground. I'm sorry, it's out of the air. Now, of course, I told you the oxygen and carbon stick together very tight. How is it the tree is so smart and managed to take the carbon dioxide, which is the carbon and oxygen nicely combined, and undo that? Life has some mysterious force. No, the sun is shining. And it's the sunlight that comes down and knocks this oxygen away from the carbon. So it takes sunlight to get the plant to work. And so the sun, all the time, is doing the work of separating the oxygen away from the carbon. The oxygen is some kind of terrible byproduct, which it spits back into the air, and leaving the carbon and water and stuff to make the substance of the tree. Then when we take the substance of the tree and stick it in the fireplace, there's all the oxygen made by these trees. And all the carbon would much prefer to be close together again. And once you let the heat to get it started, it continues and makes an awful lot of activity while it's going back together again. And all this nice light and everything comes out. And everything is being undone. You're going back to carbon and oxygen, back to carbon dioxide. And the light and heat that's coming out, that's the light and heat of the sun that went in. The sun that went in. So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn the log. So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn the log.
Go!
So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn the log. So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn the log.
So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn the log. So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn the log.
Yeah, another one of everybody's favorite. Wow, there it is, right down there at number 4. The 4th least listened to song on digital streaming platforms, and it's a banger. Right? It's a banger, I'm afraid. Bruh, says Rubik Bop. Yes, this is peak bop. It is, you're right. It is, I mean, I cannot deny it. I'm a fucking riot. No. This next one, this was in last time. It's up 3. Listen to less this month. For some reason, people aren't listening to this wonderful song about bullying a guy out of his job.
Men don't struggle for power. That isn't what men do.
Make some noise for Lunch Bucket, everybody.
They size each other up and elect the competent to lead them.
Yeah.
And they do that at every level of society. I worked in a rail crew in southern Saskatchewan. They're rough guys, like a lot of them had been in prison, you know. And when you first came onto the rail crew, you got a stupid nickname and people teased you. And I remember this one kid called Lunch Bucket. That was his nickname because he came to the rail crew with a lunch bucket that looked like his mom had packed it. That was a bad idea.
Bad idea, noob.
So they named him Lunch Bucket, which he wasn't very happy about. Well, that was a mistake. He should have taken it with a smile. And then he was always peevish and irritable. And if you asked him to do something, he'd whine.
Shit.
Soon, there was a about 60 men on this crew. It stretched out about a quarter of a mile down the tracks. Soon, anonymous harassers were throwing pebbles at him during work. We had hard hats on, so the game was, let's see if we can hit that lunch bucket in the hard hat with a pebble. And then that was purposeful because he couldn't take a joke. It's like, well, let's see if he can take this joke. Clunk, clunk, clunk. And then he just got more and more peevish, and the pebbles got bigger and 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 bigger. A week later, lunch bucket was gone. Having not learned anything from the experience. But the men were testing him out. It's like, can you take a joke? Can you be useful? Can you at least be amusing? Is there something worthwhile about you? It's like, no. It's like, okay, well then, you're out of here. Because you never know when we actually might need to depend on you.
Oh, the lunch bucket. Feel free to try the lunch bucket nightbot command. Free Consciousness says, sounds like a girl at my work. Well, you should probably throw a rock at her. If you're going to listen to the advice of Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, you should throw a rock at her head. You know what I mean? I suppose hopefully she's wearing a hard hat, but it doesn't matter. Just throw a rock at her head. It will teach her a valuable lesson about friendship and usefulness and responsibility and all sorts of things. Mason says Lunch Bucket needs a training app. Yeah, we need to find Lunch Bucket. We need to send him on one of those David Goggins retreats. Maybe he's already on it. You all don't know. You know what I mean? Like, Lunch Bucket could be some fucking monster by now. You know what I mean? He could be out there just... you know what I mean? I just think. Anyway, that was number 3. Number 2 is a new entry. A new entry at the bottom, down here, languishing in the depths. Infamy, they've all got it, infamy. It's a fucking classic. It's a banger. It's another orchestral version. Layers up! Layers up!
Every generation that came before, the boys would have to go and fight in a war. Their mothers wondering what they were fighting for, and praying they'd make it. My grandma was born in 1924. Eldest at 13, near our last took the mold. I think of all throughout her life that she saw, and I say we make it, yeah. We're all gonna make it, but don't you mistake it. My soul you can take it, this road you can fake it. We're all gonna make it. He used to walk around with his Bowie LPs. His love of music he then passed on to me, and now I make it. Every generation fancies that it's gonna be the one to face the apocalypse. We've been through so much and yet still we persist. I know we gon' make it. We're all gonna make it. But don't you mistake it. My soul you can't take it. This road you can't fake it. We're all gonna make it. I'm one of the gang that came up in a time when we hung out outside, 'cause there was no online. What they unleashed on this world, we had no chance to decline. I know what we lost and we gained at the same time. I'm so grateful to be here. the head of the line that winds back through the ages to the dawn of time. Every woman and man that fought, lived, loved and died is here with me. They're all on our side and we're all gonna make it. Now don't you mistake it. My soul you can't take it. This road you can't fake it. We're all gonna make it. We're all gonna make it. Now don't you mistake it. My soul you can't take it. This road you can't fake it. We're all gonna make it.
Oh boy! Wow. Number 2. A new entry at the very, very bottom, nearly. Right down there, in the most unloved area of the Meaningwave digital streaming services catalog. We're all gonna make it, orchestral version. Simply impeccable. Alright, let's do the fast talky thing. Are you ready? Oops. We're gonna count it down. Oh yeah, okay, let's go. Number 50 is a new entry, Jordan Peterson, Akira the Don, Utopia. Number 49, Not Greatly Changed with Joseph Campbell, down 6. Number 48 is a new entry, I Saw My Dad in a Dream with Theo Von. Number 47, Everything's a Scam with Riva. Oh yeah, it's a new entry, yes it is. Good Lord, is that new entry? Yes it is. Beautiful Woman, down 4 at number 46 with Jordan Peterson. And number 45, new entry, Reduce Effort with Manly P. Hall. Number 44, Greatly Changed, new entry with Joseph Campbell. Number 43, Freedom of Speech with Noam Chomsky, up by 5. Number 42, Tammy, down 2, Jordan Peterson. Number 41, Wild Man, Jordan Peterson, up 3. Number 40, No Such Thing as a Dragon, free orchestral version, new edition in the chart. New edition in the chart. 39, One Is Free with Joseph Campbell. Oh yeah, that's a new entry too. Number 38, The Stuffed Shirt with Joseph Campbell, new edition too. Number 37, Here It Comes, Joseph Campbell, up 4. Oh yeah, 36, What's More Worthwhile Than That, orchestral version with Jordan Peterson, new addition to the chart. Amazing. And up to a 35, It's Mother's No Good with Joseph Campbell. At 34, Accepted 2 with Alan Watson, Carl Young, up 6. Number 33, Nature Is Still Ours with Joseph Campbell, up 17. 32, Using Machines with Jim Morrison, up 2. Number 31, Arch Nemesis with Eric Weinstein, down 7. Number 30, Be Me in Elementary School with Internet Historian, down 3. Be Me Love Popcorn with Internet Historian, up 3 at 29. At 28, Be Me 16, featuring Internet Historian, up 3. Number 27, The Golden Age with Akira the Don, down 5. By God. 26, Good vs. Good with Scott Adams and Norm MacDonald, down 1. Number 25, Mean Magic with Terence McKenna, down 16. 24, Greatest Year with Gary V, up 11. 23, Be Me Play Minecraft with Internet Historian, down 5. 22, I Had to Make Sales with Jack Kirby, up 1. 21, Just Because Someone Has a Superpower with Stan Lee, down 2. Number 20, Harrison Bergeron 1, Finally Equal. Number 19, Harrison Bergeron 2, Back to the Dark Ages. And number 18, I Had to Become Like You with Rupert Spira. We love that song, it's down 3. Number 17, Criteria for Choosing an Arch Nemesis with Eric Weinstein, new edition. Number 16, another new edition, Theory of Everything with Eric Weinstein. Number 15, down 5, Habits with Naval Ravikant. Number 14, up 6, The Questions Have Been Terrific with Jack Kirby. Number 13, Harrison Bergeron 3, The Emperor, up 3. Number 12, Some of Yourself and Your Arch Nemesis. Oh, it's a new entry with Eric Weinstein. At number 11, last week's number 1 is down 10 it's Idea Muscle with James Altucher. At number 10, it's a new entry, Born for This with Charles Bukowski, followed at number 9 by another new entry with Charles Bukowski, Born Like This. 8, Harrison Bergeron, A Doozy, up 5. Number 7, The First Function of Mythology with Joseph Campbell, new edition, new entry. Number 6, Generally Miserable with Marilyn Monroe is down 2. At number 5, How I Made Meaningwave with Jordan Peterson and Akira the Dawn. It's a new entry, Bloody Hell. Down 1 at number 4, Trees Come Out of the Air with Richard Feynman. And at number 3, getting whacked in the head with a rock, Clunk, Lunch Bucket with Jordan Peterson. Number 2, it's a new entry, We're All Gonna Make It, orchestral version from Akira the Dawn. And that just leaves us number 1. Did I blink then? My eyeballs just went really dry. Yo. Okay, here we go. Have any of you guessed it? I don't think anyone guessed it. I don't think anybody knows. Varon IR. Does number 1 mean least played? Yes, it does. That's exactly what it means. The second least played was what you just heard. And the least played song in the Meaningwave universe on digital streaming platforms in the past month is a brand new entry. I don't know how this happens. It's another absolute stone cold classic masterpiece. Featuring the immortal Stan Lee.
I might mention, most writers, and I think it's an unfortunate thing, they try to write something that they think a certain audience
in the chat
might enjoy. I've never been able to do that because I can't put myself in the mind of other people. I only know what I enjoy. So every time I've written a story, I've always tried to write the sort of story that I myself would enjoy reading. The sort of story that I myself would enjoy reading. A story that would interest me while I'm writing it, as I'm waiting to find out what happens next.
Amazing.
And I can't know what other people think, but I can know what I think.
I know what I think.
I can't know what other people think, but I can know what I think. And I feel I'm not that unusual. If there's a type of story I like, there must be lots of people who like the same type of stories. Therefore, I have always written to please myself, not to please a certain type of audience. The sort of story that I myself would enjoy reading. The sort of story that I myself would enjoy reading. Because you can't know the audience as well as you know yourself. And if I write a story that I'm enjoying while I'm writing it, and I can't wait to see what happens next, then I'm hoping that a large proportion of the public will feel the same way and they'll enjoy it too. So to sum it up, I have always tried to please myself, not other people. And somehow it seems to have worked. Because I guess I'm not that different than other people. I've always tried to write the sort of story that I myself would enjoy reading. The sort of story to you. Thanks for listening, and I really enjoyed talking to you. Excelsior.
Well, there you go. There you have it, baby. The least listened to Meaningwave song. The least listened to of all the Meaningwave masterpieces, because as we can see here, they are. Is that one. That wonderful, beautiful song. I remember writing that. I remember where I was. I remember the joy it gave me and the little goosebumps it gave me when it all came together. And I'm very glad that exists, and I'm very glad, for some strange reason, I'm quite glad it's number one. It's wonderful. We've had two of these bottom 50s, and they've both had magnificent lists and magnificent number ones. The sort of story I myself would enjoy with Stanley is the least listened to Meaningwave song for the past month. Jason, please post the link. He's already done it. What a freaking guy. He's posted the link. He's updated it. All of you go follow that playlist on your platform of choice and run up those songs, and let's see if we can kick them out of the bottom 50 for next month and see if we can have a new bottom 50. You know what I mean? I actually prefer the bottom 50 to top 50 now. We're not doing a top 50 stream this month because it's so similar to last month's. I think there's only got one new entry. But the playlist has been updated, so you can check that out. Make sure you're following that playlist as well. Shouts out to everyone locked in. Appreciate all of y'all. Impeccable. Says Free Consciousness. Quite exactly. Lots of nuke emojis, which we appreciate. Feelings is glorious number one. Exactly. Hey, yeah, so make sure you're following that playlist. Hit the link. It's in the chat. It's also in the description of this broadcast. If you're listening to this on the replay, if you're on the podcast feed, if you're on Rumble, wherever you might be, follow that Meaningwave bottom 50 playlist and give those songs some love. And of course, also, you know, you might be a wise Meaningwave enjoying, you know, cool person that knows all about all the stuff, but like, you know, doesn't mean everybody does. And this is a mistake I often make. As soon as I know something, I just assume everybody else does, whether it's something, some wisdom, whether it's a movie, whether it's a book, whether it's some information, whatever it is. It's a weird human thing that we do, you know. So maybe there's someone in your life who does not yet know the glory of the existence of Meaningwave, and you just haven't hipped him yet because you think it's so obvious, you know. So maybe that's the thing you can do. And if you've heard a song on this list that you never heard before, great. The system works, and just bear in mind, you know, there's a lot of wonderful Meaningwave out there, and maybe there is something out there that you haven't heard yet. So while you're waiting for the new albums, and you're waiting for all that new music that's coming very soon, maybe go have a little dig around in the catalog and maybe find something that you missed. You know, find a new favorite old ass record. With that being said, I should just remind you, of course, that this stream is sponsored by Meaningwave.com, because happiness is a side effect of meaning. Go to Meaningwave.com, get yourself some fire clothes, read the blogs, check if there's anything you've missed. Oh, look, say today, we uploaded my appearance on One American News Network's Nights with Chris Boyle show. So you can go watch that. You missed that, you didn't see it. That's on the YouTube channel. We got a new mixtape dropping on Friday, by the way. I shall be putting that up for a preview shortly. And look at all these cool clothes. Swag. So much swag. We also got the resources tab. You know what I mean? Like, you know, maybe you've been banging a bunch of these songs down at the bottom of the charts, but down at the bottom of the charts, at the top of the charts, it's tens of thousands of streams. At the bottom of the charts, it's tens. Someone was just asking, what are the numbers of streams? According to this data, bearing in mind that the top song gets something like 35,000 streams in a month, the bottom got 8. This song was streamed 8 times this month according to this data. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Do you understand that 8 streams is 0.04 cents times 8? Can someone do the math on that? What is that? So that's what that song made this month. And if that's your favorite song and you played it, and it was you that played it 8 times, that's what it would have made. And people do ask me about this a lot, and they say, how do you, is there another way I can support you, since we're aware that Spotify, by the way, is going to stop paying you for songs that get under 1,000 streams in a year. So they won't pay me for this song. But anyway, you can go and hit the resources tag and hit support Meaningwave. And you can support us there. You can send a donation via PayPal, Patreon, Bitcoin, ETH, Venmo, or Cash App or something like that. If you get value from this Meaningwave thing. Or maybe you can get yourself a digital bundle, you know what I mean? Or maybe it was a vinyl or a CD or a cassette. Someone earlier I saw was saying that they got themselves a Walkman for $1 or something from a second-hand place. Why is it saying the Super Request? It's not the Super Request show. Why didn't anyone tell me? That was up there. I bet I'm going to see a DM now from Jason from 2 hours ago that I didn't look at. Because I don't have enough screens. I need more screens. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, someone got a Walkman and they're walking around town listening to the Dunewave cassette. That's very fire. I want to do that. I haven't got a portable tape player. I've got an unportable tape player. It's actually fucking screwed into my desk over there on the other side of the room. Anyway, Nicholas Lung says 0.32. And Illink says it was me that listened to it 8 times. It's on my playlist. So there you go. Thank you, Illink. You made me 0.32 of $1 or something. That's nice, isn't it? Hurrah! Cindy Bailey says, I like playing Akira the Don's catalogue on shuffle. It's tangential and keeps things fresh. Yeah, you could always just follow that Meaningwave playlist that's got all of the Meaningwave on it on Spotify. You could do that. Can we get Spotify up? Can we do that? Can we look at Spotify on stream now? Let's see if we can do that. See if I can swap out internet here for Spotify. Yeah, we can. Look at that. All right, good. Okay, so let's see. Find Akira the Don in here. Akira the Don. Here he is. Look, isn't he great? So yeah, you can follow that playlist there, the Meaningwave by Akira the Don, the complete collection, and put that on shuffle. You could do that. What else could you do? We actually got a lot of other playlists. See, here we go. Artist playlists. I don't know how they decide how they organize them, but they organize them weird. But anyway, look, there's the top 51. I don't see the bottom 51 on here, but you've got the link. It might be, Jason, that the bottom 51 needs publishing to the Spotify, because I can't see it here. So it needs publishing to the Spotify. So let's get that done. Look, see, I've been updating the covers. I've got to do more of them. The Jocko Willink playlist got a new cover and a new playlisting. As did the Terence McKenna one, and the Joe Rogan one, and the Jordan Peterson one. See, look, we've got lots of nice playlists. You should follow some of them. And we'll be adding more. But yeah, they do need organizing better, but Spotify's a bit tricky for that. But anyway, so there you go. You know, I mean, there's lots of ways for you to listen to your Meaningwave if you like listening to your Meaningwave on a streaming platform type of a situation. But also, you know, there's other ways to listen to Meaningwave outside of streaming. Like I said, you could download the MP3s and get yourself a home library situation that's sophisticated, like mine. And I'll have to show you that one of these days, because that's basically the best way of doing it. I can organize my Meaningwave. I don't have to like have a playlist like one of those. I can organize my Meaningwave by a vibe. I can type in, you know, happy, and it brings up the happy Meaningwave. I can type in, you know, whatever I want. Sexy time, and it'll bring me up the sexy time stuff. You know what I mean? Anyway. VJDII says top 5% Spotify listening 2 years in a row. Nice. Jason says I made it public earlier, Akira. Yeah, it's not just that you have to make it public, it's that you have to like add it to the Spotify, the artist one. Otherwise, it just exists on. Do you know? Here it is. Like, if you look, hang on, over here, the playlists are made by Akira the Don Playlists. You see? So if you go on the Akira the Don Playlists account, then that'll have loads. That's got all of them. See that? See, there's fucking tons. What are all these ones down here? Is this ones that I follow? What the fuck are these? I don't even know what these are. That's weird. But anyway, yeah, there's lots on that. Man, I gotta look into that. I don't know what that weird shit is. Booby doobie. Where is the bottom 50? I can't even see it. It must be here somewhere, huh? See, look at this mess of a Spotify situation. I can't even see it. Assuming it's here somewhere. But anyway, yeah, Jason, he's publishing to the artist channel. I can't see that shit nowhere. By Jove. Hey! Anyway, yeah, Spotify. I wonder if it'll exist this time in 10 years, 5 years. What do you guys reckon? Jacob says, is that the CRT TV background on the Terrence? Ah, dope. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I did that on... I made the other night... Where did it go? Back to my playlists. Go back to my playlists. I made new sleeves for the artist playlists the other night. I've got a few more that I need to do. But yeah, they've all got that theme. I used my TV to make backgrounds for all of them. Because that's my aesthetic. See? Look, see, there's the Alan Watts one. There's Terence McKenna one. That is made by the TV back there. But same with the Peterson one, see? And the Jocko one. And so on and so forth. Anyway, that's suffice to say, that was our stream. That was the bottom 50. Big shout out to Jason for putting that together and getting all the data, getting all the information of what went up and what went down and what's a new entry and all that type of a thing. You know, thank you to all of you guys for listening to the music, sharing it with the homies, and you know, hanging out here. It's wonderful to hang out with you all, and looking forward to doing it some more. You know what I mean? We'll be back tomorrow. So thank you once again. Kick that like on the way out. Leave a comment. Head on over to meaningwave.com, and we'll see you mañana, baby. Love to you and your family. God bless.